Hello, cunts and cucks. This is Mrs. Zone from Nick and Zone Politics and Gaming. And I know lately it's been Nick and Zone Politics.
Pretty much just politics.
Yes, but this is our first ever official Nick and Zone review.
I dragged Zone kicking and screaming into playing a 2D fighter, and he is thankful for it.
Oh yes, I am. This game is fucking fabulous.
It harkens back to more retro games, early 90s kind of style beat 'em ups like Streets of Rage or maybe even the old Ninja Turtle games.
This game is, of course, Mother Russia fucking Bleeds, otherwise known as Mother Russia Bleeds. So essentially you go left to right, punching faggots in the face.
And using heaping amounts of drugs while you do it.
Of course, drugs.
So we're going to give you 5 pros and 5 cons of Mother Russia Bleeds.
And we're not going to number them because fuck you.
Right. Try to keep up. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what you just listened to, and that's the soundtrack to this game.
It's fucking amazing. That soundtrack, that song you heard in the intro, that's the fucking final boss music. And it gets my dick wet every fucking time.
The thing that's about the music that's good is it really helps fit the mood of the levels and the feel of the game. When you're near death or like about to beat a boss or things are getting real tough, the music ramps up, it speeds up.
And though it's high quality recordings, it still harkens back to the era of the 90s with the side-scroller 16-bit games. Back when I was popping in Mortal Kombat in my Sega Genesis and learning how my goddamn dick works.
And that atmosphere, though.
That atmosphere.
The thing about the atmosphere of the game, like you said with the Mortal Kombat and how it works, it's a gore fest. It has this really gritty, like industrial feel to it. Like it makes you feel like you're in this like awful dystopian nightmare, and just fighting bloody fist to bloody fist all the way through this entire nightmare to figure out what the hell's going on.
And that right there sings of the gameplay. The gameplay is amazing. It feels smooth. The enemies are unique. The enemies are unique. Not all enemies are fought the same way. Yes, every enemy you can punch in their faggot face, but some enemies you don't want to. Some enemies you want to charge your old fist up and run up and give them the old fucking Putin 1-2. Fucking
like the big guys that punch you in the gut and make you throw up.
Yeah, you try and punch one of them straight with your regular little bitch fist, they're gonna knock your fucking Antifa ass on the goddamn ground. That's just how it works.
Well, the gameplay is fun, so it plays into the role of Necro, the drug you have to use in the game. You can use it to heal your partner, you can use it to heal yourself, and then you can use it to put yourself in a drug-induced frenzy where you beat face at a rapid pace or perform fatality one-hit kills with them.
Oh yes, and the Necro, that kind of ties into the story, which I won't spoil for you 100%, but let's say you take drugs from people's bodies after they die, and you inject them into yourself, and it makes you a fucking man god, or keeps you alive.
Right, the mechanic works like that. You pull nectar out of corpses you kill, and then you can put them in yourself to heal yourself. It's basically the only way to gain health. Yeah, or your buddy.
Or your buddy.
And the pacing, like we were talking about earlier, how it sometimes feels hectic. Well, it does. The games have you're never wanting for entertainment. It keeps going at a non-stop pace.
You mean like being beat up by 15 ninjas while fucking Trump's friends fly by doing favors for Putin, throwing grenades at your ass?
Yeah, it gets a little intense, but the game rewards you for that. You suffer through that nightmare train level, for example, when you get raided to the club, which is a much slower pace where you fight people in gimp suits and pig masks, and it's just completely out of this world.
Or you're running through the streets of DC at night getting ran over by motorcycles and tased for fucking 3 goddamn hours, and you finally get to pick up some AKs and go through and start hosing fucking assholes.
And you're just ripping it from panel to panel as if the game's like, here's your reward, just mow people down with machine guns.
Absolutely.
And, like what we were talking about earlier, level design, gameplay, atmosphere, soundtrack, and the pacing of this game and the enemies, really good pros.
Really good. Now let's move on to the cons of the game, like how hard it is at times to keep track of your fucking character. There's so many pixels. It's like a fucking pixel clusterfuck.
And this could be fixed by things they used to do in older games. Have a little arrow icon above your head. Maybe just a player 1, player 2 icon. It's all you needed. Maybe just an outline or something. If you had something like that, then you would know where your character is all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's in modern day gaming, it's not that hard to do that at all. we can make it happen. They made it happen in the 90s. We can make it happen now. Even better.
It was an easy fix, and it was a big miss for this game.
Yeah. Next thing is hit detection. Hit detection sometimes feels slanted and unfair. You have to be perfectly lined up with your enemy on the screen to punch them. But sometimes it feels like that they don't even have to be on the same level of you, and they can shoot you in the fucking grape, even when they're not aiming at you.
Yeah, it feels like the enemy can't help but hit you, but you have to be right on the enemy or you just whiff or miss, and it does get frustrating from time to time. I mean, you get kind of used to it, but it adds an element to the difficulty that is unfair.
I'm telling you, if this game had an accuracy indicator, I'd probably be rated at like 10% accuracy with how much my fucking button hitting the finger resulted in someone getting punched in the face.
Some of it was your skill, but
well, you know what? Yes.
All right, another thing I want to throw in here is temporary invincibility. Now, this is something a lot of older games used to do, and I wish this game did it. When you get knocked down and you try to get up, usually you have a few minutes, maybe a second of temporary invincibility.
Mm-hmm. You would usually notice it by your character flashing.
Right, and you don't have that in this game. So you'll have moments where you just literally just keep flopping around like a fish on the pier as you just constantly get belted in the face every time your character's animation for getting up gets hit.
Yeah, it's quite obnoxious when you are continuously being butt-fucked left and right.
And there's nothing you can do. Nothing about it. No skill, no gameplay will get you out of it.
No. And when you've done a great job up till that point and you just happen to get caught in a fucking pain train until you're dead, and you're like, I did nothing to lose that level. It was just bad luck.
Yeah.
And let's move on. Man.
Important actions for sharing the same button. So
Necro.
that was a common problem. Like, you use the same button command to draw Necro out of bodies as you do to res your buddy when he gets knocked out.
So if your body is next to someone who is twitching, which is the indicator in the game that they can give you Necro, you will 9 times out of 10 favor the person with Necro, and you can't res your buddy, which will sometimes result in you pulling Necro, which makes you vulnerable to hits, and getting your ass killed, and then you gotta restart.
There's also been times of just, for some reason, not lining up right when you try to res people. Like, you're standing right over them.
Yeah.
But it's not letting you do it.
It's the same thing. It's kind of along the lines of the hit detection. I think the hit detection and just, the things like that, hit detection, being able to hit your buddy, it needs to be more forgiving in the window that you're allowed to stand in.
Right, and that even comes with picking up objects on the ground. Sometimes you pick up the wrong one because it's too close to a different one, and
yeah,
that could be enhanced a bit.
And we have sang this game praises. We sang it praises. We pointed out some flaws, which I think the flaws overall are negligible compared to the pros. Important flaws that need to be fixed, but still the game is fun overall. But this game is pretty much worthless by itself. You have to play it with friends.
That's the biggest flaw. This game is fun, very fun on a multiplayer format. And it does not deliver, in my opinion, at all in a single player style.
I didn't even play it single player based off of what you told me. It's pretty much not fun single fucking player. Maybe a little bit, but multiplayer. And a lot of friends don't have homies like Nick that can come over and game with them once a week. Maybe they have a friend who lives on the other side of the country that would love to get down, but you can't do that in this game because it's local multiplayer only.
Yeah, it doesn't have online co-op, and that's kind of a big miss. I know it's a small independent developers, so I know they probably hadn't got that far with it. Maybe it happened in later installments.
I would like to see it in an update.
The game does offer you to let bots run around as your partners if you are playing by yourself or with friends, but nothing beats having a partner to co-op with. You can heal each other, help each other out. There's parts we take different sides of the screen.
Oh yeah,
just definitely. To make sure we're maximizing the use of the weapons and stuff in the game.
And no AI, as of right now, that's available to indie gamers is going to be able to be as good as a human. I mean, we don't have fucking Watson in there playing with us.
Right.
What's your final opinion about the game overall?
My final opinion, if I had to give it a score 1 to 10, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 7.5 because I don't really like retro games. And I'm gonna let that. That's just my personal thing.
Yeah.
Overall, though, the game is fucking pretty good. It's fucking good. I hate retro games. I never really, even back in the 90s, got into beat 'em up games.
Yeah, I like the retro games. You don't.
Yeah, but I had fun with this game not even liking these kind of games, and that says something for the game.
And like I said, the 8 out of 10 I'm giving it because the flaws it has. I mean, if they could fix some of the sloppy performance with the hit detection, maybe making it easier to find your character, and if you have the online multiplayer, this game would be perfect, in my opinion. It's really fun for what it is.
Yeah.
It's just you could beat it in probably 4 or 5 hours. It's an old school beat 'em up. I mean, you could probably beat it in 3 hours, maybe even less of a speed run, probably like really fast.
So rounding up my 7.5 and your 8, I would give this game an overall Nick and Zone 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
Solid 8 out of 10. You good with that?
Absolutely.
I'm good with that. All right.
To all of you out there, though, if you want to play it, grab a buddy and make Mother Russia bleed.
Make Russia red again.
Thanks, everybody.
You are fake news.